Hi everyone. Now we are going to discuss a topic called bread. Bread is a type of fermented food. Okay, and bread is a dietary food or a product, and it is also called as a staple food, and which is prepared from a dough of flour and water by the process of fermentation and usually by baking. So that how you'll get your bread in a simple way of telling. So that here is a picture of showing your sourdough bread. Okay, it's so yummy, isn't it? So now this bread is has been a prominent food in large parts of the world. Not only we, the total world is going to have this as a prominent food. It is one of the oldest man-made foods since the dawn of our agriculture. So when we had this roots of agriculture, from then onwards we are having a information of having the bread preparation. So here in this part we are going to discuss about the types of breads and then methods of bread making and the process of bread making and the nutritional value of bread making. Let's look into it. So here are the types of breads, isn't it? We are having so many varieties of breads, but still I'm presenting here only few depending upon the ingredient that it is being made. Okay, so here are white bread, brown bread, wholemeal bread, and the rye bread. So the white bread is majorly refers to the breads one made up from wheat flour is being called as white bread, and then brown bread is going to have the breads made with significant amounts of whole, that means the whole grain flour is going to be used in the bread making, then we call it as a brown bread. And then wholemeal bread, so what is this wholemeal bread? Is going to be of having containing of the wheat grain. That grain is going to process even the bran of it, the whole, then that's why this is called as wholemeal bread. That means endosperm bran, grain, all that together we are going to use in the wholemeal bread process, isn't it? Then coming to the rye bread, as if you are going to use the rye grains in the preparation of a bread, then those are being called as rye bread. So here it is a type of bread made with various proportions of flour from rye grains. Okay, and apart from about all these four, we are also having several types like crisp bread, flat bread, and this is all often simple, made with flour, water, and salt. Okay, so these are the few types of breads. Then we will move to the bread making process, so which is very interesting. Okay, so before knowing of anything preparation, we should know what are the ingredients of it, isn't it? So here we are going to discuss about the ingredients of bread making. So here totally we are going to have the six, so let's look into it. The first one is going to be the flour. So as I told, here it's a bulking ingredient of bread. So it is the bulking ingredient of bread, and what it is doing, it forms the structure of the product. So without the flour we cannot prepare the bread, so here it is going to give the structure of the product. And this flour is going to contain gluten protein. Okay, and this gluten helps to form the elastic stretchy dough. Okay, the dough is going to be called when you're mixing the flour with the water. And then the second very important thing is the yeast. As I told you, the yeast is an organism, microorganism, used in the process of bread making. Okay, this yeast is mainly useful in the leavening of the bread, ripening agent, and the condition of the dough. So these are the three main steps that are being done by the yeast. So let's have a some important points regarding this yeast. So first of all, the yeast is a single-celled organism that we oftenly know, and it is going to grow at a temperature of about 105 to 115 Fahrenheit temperature, and at the same time it can be killed from 125 Fahrenheit. So it's a very near peak of temperature. If you are going to allow it for 105 to 115 Fahrenheit, it will grow very good. but if you are going to have the temperature of 125, it will die. So that's a very crucial thing that we have to remember in the preparation of bread making. Now, one of the best example that we are using in the bread making is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Is is best adapted for the bread making or leavening of the bread. So this yeast is mainly useful in two important ways in bread making. One is they produce the gas. Which gas? Carbon dioxide, to leaven. So what is meant by this leaven or leavening? Rise the dough. Okay, rise the dough. That means that we are going to have only a fistful of the dough, but after this yeast is added, it is going to increase its volume, and it also going to give the desired loose porous texture and increases the volume of the bread or dough. Then they produce some sort of flavoring, desirable flavoring substances, and they may also con- contribute the conditioning of the dough. So that's how the yeast is very important in the leavening of the bread, that is dough, rise and acting as a rising agent, and as well as the conditioning of the dough. Then moving to the third one is the salt. So you may think of about salt. Why we adding the salt in it? Yes, the salt is going to act as a best dough conditioner. It strengthens and tightens the gluten. So where is the gluten? The protein that is present in the flour. Okay, and this salt required to bring about flavor in the bread, but you are supposed to use very uh, in small quantities. Too much may stop the yeast growth. Remember, if you are going to add the more salt for more conditioning, so it will stop the growth of the yeast. And at the same time, without the salt, dough is so sticky and hard to handle. So it's very important to have the salt in the bread making. Then coming to the sugar, it provides food for yeast and allows yeast to grow. So that's a basic component which enhances the growth of the yeast along with the flour. Then coming to the water. So water is another important one. It hydrates the flour, allowing the gluten to form, isn't it? And it dissolves all the things that are present as sugar, salt, flavoring agents, yeast, and evenly distribute them in the dough, and mainly helps to form the structure of bread. The last but not least is the fats and oils. So what are these fats and oils? So these fats and oils increases the tenderness of the dough and improves the texture of the bread, and not only that, it is able to prevent the bread uh, becoming the stale quickly. Okay, so because of all these aspects, you are going to have this fats and oils usage in the bread making. So that's how these are all the ingredients that we require for the bread making. Now we have learned about all the ingredients that we require for bread making. Now we will enter into the process of bread making. Okay, so next, um, here are the steps in bread making. So what are the steps that you are having here is a scale, and scaling means nothing but quantity of or amount that you require for preparation of your bread, and then preparing ingredients and mixing ingredients, then nodding the or kneading, and then fermentation, then your punch down, then proofing, baking, and then cooling and packing. So these are all the steps that we are going to perform in the process of bread making. So let's go in detail about this bread making. Okay, so here as I told you, the first one, scaling and preparing ingredients. This is the first step in ensuring the product as perfect, isn't it? As good, product as good and perfect. So if you see here, you are going to take the different quantity types of ingredients. So what are the ingredients that we have discussed? So flour, yeast, salt, sugar, water, fats, and oils. These are basic. You in the preparation of different types of the breads, we are going to add the additionals one. Okay, so here in the first step, you are supposed to have the accurate weights of the ingredients. Okay, you have to take the accurate weights of the ingredients, and obviously required in the baking process. And now you have to go with for the second step. That the second step is the mixing ingredients. So first of all, you have to wait and get it ready for the mixing process, which is the second step. So in the mixing process, what is happening? So in the mixing process, you are going to have uh, distribution of all these ingredients evenly, isn't it? So this mixing is majorly having the two main functions. So what are those two functions? One is evenly distribute the various ingredients, and the second one is this after mixing it was left for resting, and this resting will allow the fermentation starts, okay, or initial. So it's not a fermentation process, but still just we can call it as left to rise for some time, and then we'll go with the kneading. So first we have taken the scale and prepared the ingredients, then we mixed the ingredients, okay, and we left it, okay. Now after the lefting, what is the third step? That is going to be of calling as kneading. So what is kneading? What is kneading? So kneading, press the dough with the heel of hands, fold it and turn it. So look into the picture. So this is a dough that was kept resting. Now with the heel, that means at the edge of your arm, you are going to have the pressure on the dough, okay, and you are supposed to fold it and turn it. And you also should make a note that you should not what you should not tackle this dough very hard, where the bread may come as a rough one instead of a smooth. And the kneading is going to be done only for 10 minutes, not if you're going to go for longer time, you may get the rough bread. So it is not advisable to have the more time for kneading. Then this is a handmade kneading, so that can also be done in the machines nowadays, because large quantities of the content can't be done with the hand. So obviously they are in the industrial purpose, they are going to have the machines for this kneading, okay. Then after the kneading process, that dough is going to be left for some time. That is called as rising or first rising, where we name it as fermentation, okay. Now coming to the fermentation, so or fast rising. So what is a fermentation? A fermentation is going to have the two main steps. One is leavening. So as I told you, rising the dough, and second one is the conditioning of the dough. These two steps are very important: leavening, the rising the dough, and conditioning of the dough. Although many microorganisms ferment sugar with release of carbon dioxide, Baker's yeast, that I told you, what is a Baker's yeast? Saccharomyces cerevisiae is best adapted for leavening of bakery products. The primary function of yeast added to the bread dough in the fermentation of sugar is to produce a gas. What is that gas? It's carbon dioxide. To leaven or rise the dough. So that process is the leavening. Usually the yeast growth is going to be of 2 to 4 hours, and the fermentation by the yeast begins as soon as the dough is mixed. So once you mix the yeast with this dough, so at that time the yeast is going to start its fermentation, and continues, and it will continue up to when? Until the temperature of the oven inactivates the yeast cells and its enzymes. Until then the fermentation goes on. So during this fermentation process, conditioning of the dough also takes place when the flour proteins, what are the flour proteins that are containing is gluten, mature, that is becoming elastic and springy, and therefore capable of retaining a maximal amount of the carbon dioxide gas produced by the yeast. Now sometimes additional dough conditioners are also being used in some of the bread making processes. Example like ammonium salts or potassium bromide oxides or calcium oxides, okay. So this conditioning agents will enhance or stimulate yeast growth and dough characters. Okay, although sugar is being added to the dough, it is not utilized for the fermentation process because more quantity of the dough is there, so that yeast likes to use that rather than the sugars. Then this is all about the fermentation. Okay, and after the fermentation, the next step is the punch down. Yes, your punch. When the dough has completed of rising, that is a fermentation, we must punch it down. So see here in the figure, you're able to see punch. So punch means your fist is going to get into it, punch it down to release some of the carbon dioxide. I told you here the most of the thing carbon dioxide is being released to hold that is present in the dough, and that some little quantity of the carbon dioxide have to be released outside. Okay, so because of that we are going to do this punch down. When the dough has completely rising or completed rising, we must punch it down to release some of its gas, that is carbon dioxide. Okay, then coming to the next step, proofing. So what is proofing? The second rising. What is the first rising? Fermentation is the first rising and proofing is the second rising. What is a proofing? Holding the mixed dough for about 45 minutes in pans before baking is being termed as proofing. So that means before the baking you are going to keep your loaf. I will tell you what is a loaf on the pans of your oven and leaving like that for 45 minutes is being called as proofing. Okay, so we have discussed about the first 6 steps, that is your scale and prepare ingredients, mix ingredients, then kneading, fermentation, punch down, and proofing. So up to here we are going to have the thing. Now, one more important point that I want to discuss from the first step to the sixth, that is before the baking. These all steps are going to be called as panary fermentation. What it is called as panary. Panary. Panary fermentation. What is a panary fermentation? The series of changes which occur in the flour, the series of changes that occur in the flour and other constituents of the dough before baking, just before baking into bread is being termed as panary fermentation. Panary. Okay, and now we will move to the next step of our bread preparation or bread making is baking. So let's go. So here the baking time and temperature depends upon the kind of dough and the size of loaf. So what is a loaf? The loaf is nothing but the leavened material. Okay, so that is going to be called as loaf. Is baked in hot air ovens. The baking process. So what is happening in this baking process? This serves to kill the yeast. The foremost step in the baking process is to kill the yeast, and along with the yeast, it also inactivates the yeast enzymes also. And second one, it expands the gas present in it and set the structure of the loaf. So what are the things that are happening in the baking process? One thing, it kills the yeast cells, and second one, it inactivates the yeast cell enzyme, and the third one, it is going to expand the gas that is present in it. That's how you are seeing the porous nature of the bread, and then it is going to set the structure of the loaf. And beside these major aspects, the baking also producing the good appearance of the loaf and also contributes desirable flavors. So what are those desirable flavors? The heat drives off most of the alcohol. We know the fermentation process releases alcohols and some other volatile substances formed by the yeast. The most important change, one more important change that occurs in the baking is uh, the bread during baking is in gelatinization of starch. So the starch that is present is going to be of smoothie, that is called as gelatinization, which supports the structure of baked bread. So this is how the steps that are happening in the baking. So what are the things? Again, recollect it fast. The one thing, it is going to have the killing of the yeast and inactivates the enzymes of the yeast. The third one is going to be of what we call expands the gas present, and it sets the loaf structure, and besides this it also gives a good appearance of loaf, and desirable flavors, contributes the desirable flavors by the volatilization of some volatile gases and alcohol, and the gelatinization of the starch also occurs. So these are all the things happening in the baking process. So finally we finish the baking process. Now we are ready and waiting for to eat. So but we can't eat at that high temperature. So obviously the next step is cooling, and after the cooling you're ready to eat. And if it is not near to us, obviously it have to get packed. So these are the overall steps of bread making. So scaling and preparing, then mixing, then allowing for resting, and then kneading with the hands, and then fermentation, then punch down to release the some amount of carbon dioxide from it, and then proofing. That is what is a proofing, holding the mixer dough for about 45 minutes in pans before baking, then baking process, then you're supposed to cooling, packing, eating or packing. Okay, then this is how the whole process is going to occur. Finally we are having our packet. And coming to the methods of bread making. Okay, so in the methods of bread making, we are having the different types of methods depending upon the way you are adding your ingredients. So the first one is the sponge method, the second one is the straight dough method, the third one is the continuous method. Sponge method, so here some of the ingredients are mixed at 23 to 24 degrees and allowed to ferment, and then the rest of the ingredients are added and the fermentation is continued. So here you are doing the fermentation process or addition of your ingredients in an installment manner. That means you are going to add some ingredients and allowing for the fermentation, and again you are adding the rest of the ingredients and allowing the fermentation to continue. Such type of the bread making is being termed as sponge method type of bread making. Then the second type of method is straight dough method, where all ingredients are mixed at a time at 26 to 28 degrees. That's what we have seen in the process or steps of bread making. Then coming to the third one is the continuous. In this process, the yeast is grown and the fermentation occurs in a pre-ferment, that means before ferment or brew, which contains little or no flour. Okay. Now the fermentation products in the pre-ferment contribute to the flavor of the finished product. So you are going to add this pre-ferment to the finished product. The leveling action is accomplished during proofing. Okay, so the leveling is going to be accomplished during proofing. So what is proofing? Just we are going to keep our loaf on the pans before baking is going to the proofing. So that's how this is a continuous process. Okay, so we are going to have the three methods of bread making. One is the sponge method, straight dough method, and continuous method. Whatever it may be, in the bread making, uh, one more important thing is when you are passing through some sort of a bakeries or bakery industry, you're going to get a nice aroma or the flavor from surroundings of the bakery industry, isn't it? The reason is the yeast that are present in the bread, that is in the dough, is going to contribute some sort of release of gases along with the carbon dioxide that I told you, volatile gases. So those like alcohols, acids, esters, and some sort of aldehyde compounds that might add desirable flavors. So most experts feel these all gases or the substances are responsible for attracting us towards this bakeries. Okay, and then coming to have the nutritional significance. So bread is categorized as a source of grains in the food pyramid. So if you are going to consider as a major source of carbohydrates, the bread is also going to be the major source of carbohydrates. And not only the carbohydrates, it is also going to have some sort of nutrients such as magnesium, iron, selenium, and some sort of uh, B complex vitamins, and it also possesses the dietary fiber, which is very useful for the digestion metabolism. Okay, so this is how these are a few nutritional significance. With this we finish the process of bread making. and methods of bread making and the ingredients that are necessary for this bread making. So in the other parts we will discuss about the cheese and yogurt production also. Thank you.